Welcome you guys to another episode of our Irish Country Life here on the west coast of Ireland. Together with this little man here, Scooter, we've got a lovely day for you today. He's been up to no good, but you'll have to wait for the next video to find out what he's been up to. There could be court summonses, there could even be arrests made, so stay tuned. Today, what I'm going to be doing is to make up for it, he's bought me a wonderful gift. So we're going to be unwrapping his gift, and it better be good, young man. And I'm also going to be making for you a delicious spiced pear trifle, which is perfect for Christmas Day. You can make it the day before or even 2 days before, and I'll be taking you through each step of that. It's super easy, and we're going to do a few cheats along the way. And this young man has written a poem for his beloved Peggy. So I will be reading that out for you over a delicious cup of Turkish coffee and a lovely cookie from Fortnum & Mason, pistachio and clotted cream. So let's crack on. Okay, so for that spiced pear trifle, let me run through with you a couple of things you're going to need first. First of all, I use this lovely glass bowl, and sometimes I use a Pyrex dish, but because it's Christmas, we're going to go really fancy. So I'm going to use a nice glass bowl, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a jam Swiss roll so that you see the beautiful Swiss roll around the outside. So it looks really stunning. It looks like it's taking you forever to make, and actually it's only taking you a few minutes. So that's where we're cheating. We're also cheating a little bit with the custard because we're using good old-fashioned bird's custard, but you don't have to tell anyone, they'll never know. So your glass bowl. You'll also need your Swiss roll. If you can't get Swiss roll, I very often make my trifle with just the sponge fingers, or I sometimes use a plain Madeira cake. Just depends on what you've got. But for this one, because it's a special occasion, Christmas, we all love Christmas, we're going to do the Swiss roll. A big tin of pears, either in syrup or juice, whichever, and if you haven't got a big tin or you can't get access to a big tin, just 2 normal size tins is fine. I've put the juice of the pears into a saucepan, and into that saucepan I am going to add 2 cloves and a teaspoon of mixed spice. Okay, and they're going into the saucepan, and I'm also going to put a good glug of Captain Morgan's spiced rum. So we're going to get that into the pot as well. See what I mean about a good glug? So this is just a different variation on a Christmas trifle. Normally I would make a sherry trifle, but a couple of years ago I came across this and I thought, this sounds really nice, and I'm going to try and deviate a little bit and make my own version of it. And it has turned out to be our favorite. When I make it for Christmas, I don't decorate it with the cream because it takes us a few days to get through it. So I always serve the cream separately. I whip it up each day fresh, and then I put the cream on top. But because we've got a lot of people coming for dinner Christmas Day, and we're going to do a nice display, we're going to finish it off completely. So into my juice of my pears and my cloves and my spiced rum, I'm going to put my pears, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to just simmer them for a few minutes just to cook off some of the alcohol, but also just to soften the pears slightly, because I find even though they're in the tin, they still can be a little bit firm. So maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so of just poaching them off on the heat, and that'll do nicely, and we can be getting on with the rest of the stuff. Okay, so what we're going to do also is we're going to cut out a circle the size of the bowl. So I've literally turned the bowl upside down on my greaseproof paper. I've drawn a circle around it, and we're going to cut that out because when we put our custard on, we're going to cover it with this greaseproof paper, which we're going to wet, simply because we don't want a skin or a crust to form on our custard while it's setting in the fridge. So I'm literally cutting out the circle that I've drawn in the greaseproof paper, and that will be for on top of our custard. And I'm doing that now because we're going to be starting to put the stuff in the bowl then, so we won't have time. So we're going to get our Swiss roll, and what we're going to do is we're going to place it round our bowl. So we're going to we're going to flatten it down slightly so it's not so tall. And we're just going to work into the center then and put some on the bottom. Now, I have one friend, thankfully there's only one friend, who despises trifle. How could you not like, or anybody not like trifle? When I question her and ask her, why is it you don't like trifle? She claims it's because of the texture. I love the texture. I love the jelly, I love the sponge, I love the fruit, and I love the custard and cream. So I think she's just crazy. So there you are. That is our bowl ready, and look how simple and look how elegant that looks already. And there is zero amount of work gone into that apart from slicing up a ready bought jam Swiss roll. You can of course make your own, but we're not going to. That would be absolute insanity. There's only one insane person around here, and she's not around today, I don't think. Enough said. Okay, so also I've got, for decorating the top of the trifle, I've got some grated chocolate. You can use, this is actually a twirl, you can use a Cadbury's flake, you can use any chocolate you like. Grate it, curl it, do whatever you want. And I've also got some lovely Christmassy silver balls, which are just basically chocolate covered in a silver pearl. So we've got them for decorating the top. We're also going to cheat with our bird's custard to make our custard. You can either do that, or you can make your own custard if you're happy at making your own custard, or you can just buy the ready-made custard and put it in. I prefer to make my own custard because I like to make it slightly thicker so it sets a bit firmer, so the custard doesn't go all over the place when you try to spoon it up and portion it up. Then we've got 2 packets of strawberry jelly, and that's just the packets of Chivers strawberry jelly, but you can use whatever Jello or gelatine or whatever you use wherever you are, whatever you can get your hands on. And I've just used 2 packets. And what I'm going to do is melt that in the microwave with 2 pints of water. And then I'm going to use the syrup from the pears to put in to dilute it down. Okay. And we've also got some vanilla essence, and I don't know why, because we don't need it. I don't think. Maybe we'll put a little splash in the custard just for old time's sake. Okay, and we'll also need a pint of milk to go with 2 tablespoons of the custard powder. But I'll show you that now when I start to make that. First of all, I'm going to go. Our pears are done. They've been poaching for 10 minutes. And I'm going to just take the cooking liquor off. And that's what we're going to dissolve our jelly in. Oops, we've just lost a pear, which we can fish out and pop into the bowl. I think the best way to do it is probably to do this. Okay. And so now we've got, that's okay, that can go there. Okay, so we need to make this up to a 1.5 pints. Just get rid of the cloves in there because you don't want the cloves in your trifle. So we just need to make this jug up to a 1.5 pints, and then we can dissolve our jelly in that over the heat. So you can either do it on the stove or you can do it in the microwave for a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to pour my jelly into this bowl, and that's going to go into the microwave. And I'm just going to top this jug up to 1, and then I'm going to add another half and put that in with the jelly, and 2 or 3 minutes in the microwave should be sufficient. Okay, so the jelly is done, and we're now going to put our pears in on top of our sponge, and you can either slice them up or you can just leave them whole as I have done. It's really entirely up to you. Everybody will get some because you'll be sticking the spoon straight in there to enjoy those delicious succulent spiced pears. Of course, you can use fresh pears if you can't get tinned pears. You just will have to cook them for longer, simmer them for longer so they soften, because what you really don't want is you don't want hard pears in your trifle. Glass is steaming up. Oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. How wonderful. Okay, so that's that. And now we're just going to pour our jelly over the top, and then we're going to let all of that set away in the fridge until it gets nice and chilled and a little bit firm so we can rest our custard over the top. And that delicious sponge will absorb all that lovely fruity jelly and all those delicious spices. And there you have it, my friends. That is the first part. Now, how easy was that? That wasn't complicated at all. And I'm sure you can still see that the Swiss roll is still kept its shape around the edge. So it just makes it look really pretty for when you present it on the table. So that's going to leave it for 5 minutes just to allow the hot steam to come off, and then we'll pop that in the fridge to set for maybe an hour or so before we put the custard over the top. Okay, so I don't know if you remember quite a few videos ago, I told you I was going to do the bog this year, so the Irish turf for burning in the fire, and I did. And just while I think of it, I want to show you one of my sods of turf that I footed in the bog, not far from here up the road this year. Had it all delivered and it's all been stacked beautifully and put away in the coach house to get us through the winter. And that is our Irish turf. And believe me, if you could smell that burning on the fire right now, you would think like you were in heaven. It is just the best thing ever. So let's pop on another sod of turf onto the fire. And now for that delicious coffee. Oh. And one of Fortnum and Mason's beautiful pistachio and clotted cream cookies. What do you think, young man? Would you like to try one? Are you worthy of a Fortnum and Mason clotted? Of course you are, my dear. You mustn't get it all over the floor. So now, my friends, before we open our beautiful gift, I'd like to read for you Scooter's poem that he wrote for his beloved Peggy. A poem by Scooter McGrath Michael to my adoring wife. I, Scooter, shall stay true to thee, for you my boss, my friend, my queen. Each day and night I think of you. I yearn for the day we say I do. Warm and cozy nights I crave that we both can enjoy and treasure until the day we reach our grave. My heart is with you, here to stay. I hope and pray I will never stray. Yours truly, your boss, Scooter. Oh, love the end bit, don't you? Okay, so it's time to do the unveiling. Don't worry, your trouble is happening next video, not this one. What have we got, Scooter? What did you buy from me? Scooter said a lot of thought went into this. In fact, so much so, it's been ordered since last Christmas. It sounds very exciting. He's even got it wrapped in Christmas paper. Oh dear, what can it be? Did Peggy approve, or has she even laid eyes on it yet? Oh, what is it? What is it? What is it? What is it? Oh, my friends, look at that. The most amazing, beautiful Victorian carousel. Now, oh, I think we'll have to... From Paddison in Ewell, my favourite shop just off Grafton Street in Dublin. Oh, Scooty, you've outdone yourself. Thank you so much. Okay, let's switch it on and see how much fun we're going to have. Oh, I do love Christmas. Christmas has come early. Sorry to all of the Christmas people who don't like Christmas out there. Oh, wow. Just look. Oh, Scooter. Oh, thank you so much, my beautiful baby. Isn't that lovely? Huh? Yes. Oh. Isn't that just wonderful, folks? Our beautiful carousel all ready for Christmas. Now, come join me in the kitchen where we'll make the delicious custard to go over the top of the trifle, and then later on we'll whip the fresh cream to go over the top of that. Okay, so for our custard, in this mug I have put 2 generous tablespoons of sugar. Into that I am going to put 4 tablespoons of Bird's custard powder, or like I said, whatever you use to make custard, or you can just buy a packet of ready-made custard and you can pour it over the top once your jelly has set. I've got 1 pint of milk in this plastic bowl, and I've got another pint in the jug here, and what I'm going to do is just add some of the milk from the jug into this to make a paste. Okay. And I'll add a little bit more. And then the rest can go into the bowl, and that's all going to get heated in the microwave. And I'm going to make this custard in the microwave. Again, you can make it on the stove, but I just find it easier just to do it in the microwave. Okay, so once you've got your custard powder into a nice paste, and you must do this part with custard powder. If you don't, and you add it straight into the milk, it just forms lumps, and you cannot get rid of it. And there's nothing worse than a grainy, lumpy custard. It's horrid. Okay, so now we're just going to pour our custard powder and sugar into our milk, and we're going to pop that into the microwave, and it should take probably anywhere between 3 and 5 minutes depending on how strong your microwave is. Okay, so the custard is done, and now I'm just going to add a little bit of the vanilla essence that we were wondering what we had it out for. So we'll add maybe a teaspoon of vanilla essence to the custard. Might give it a little more homemadey sort of flavour, the vanilla bean. Okay, so the custard is, as you can see, hot. So we're going to try and let a little bit of air into that now just to cool it down ever so slightly so it's not roasting hot going over the top. Okay. Now what we've done is we've wet our greaseproof paper circle just with some cold water. That will sit over the top and it will stop the custard from forming a skin. Okay, and now we're going to just pour our custard nicely over the top. Okay. And you can see the layers forming already, which is wonderful. Okay, and we'll give that a little bit of a spread out. Okay. And then we're just going to sit our greaseproof paper, like I said, just on top of that custard. Press it down so that it doesn't allow the custard to form that skin with the air. Okay, a few minutes outside the fridge and then into the fridge for it to set. Okay, so the trifle has been chilling and the custard is set. So we're going to finish it off now and then pop it back into the fridge for a little bit more of a chill. So we'll just carefully remove our wet greaseproof paper. And there we go. And we can dispose of that. And I've whipped up the fresh cream, so that's all nicely whipped. I didn't add any sugar or anything to it, I never do. Literally just whip the cream on its own, just until you get nice soft peaks. You don't want to overbeat it, and you don't want to underbeat it so it's too watery. You just want it so that it's nice stiff peaks. Give that a little spread around, and then because it's Christmas, well, technically it's not, but because it will be Christmas when you're making it and you want to serve it for Christmas, you can always just dip your spatula and create a few little spiky snowstorm flurries in there, and it just gives it that little bit of extra edge. So now I think that looks pretty amazing as it is. But to give it even more, we'll get our grated chocolate. And we'll just sprinkle our chocolate over the top. And then again, because it's Christmas, I think we'll give it a little bit of a festive sprinkling of silver balls. And you can just dot them around. And so there you are, folks. I think that trifle looks truly amazing. I hope you agree. Didn't take any effort or any time at all. Don't tell anybody you cheated. They'll never know. And I think that on your dining table for Christmas Day will just amaze your guests. And I'm sure they will love it. So I'm going to serve up a little bit because one must try to make sure that nobody dies first. So I shall. Okay, so now, my friends, It's time to try. We must get out some of that nice sponge as well. Ooh la la. Okay, folks. So, Merry Christmas, everyone. Everybody's going to hate me for saying that. But anyway. Truly amazing. Your guests will love it. Spiced pear trifle. Fit for a king and a queen. Well, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. We hope you loved Scooter's poem to Peggy. Please don't forget to leave us a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. And we'll see you all very soon.
Coming out to play. Santa Claus is packing the presents, making sure you've been behaving okay. Merry Christmas, honey.